Okay guys, as promised, I just wanted to make another video showing all the settings and functions of the new Android unit for the Range Rover. So here we go. I'm going to start with starting the vehicle up, and you will see that the camera, the rear view camera, still works just as it does in the factory setting before you put the new Android unit in.
Nobody's expecting the Dallas Cowboys to do much. That would be except Jerry Jones. Listen to what he had to say.
And of our Dallas Cowboy football team, this is all of us here today.
As you can see, the Android unit is still booting up. It'll take about 30 to 40 seconds when you start the car, but of course the camera still works. And I have it set to full screen. So we'll give it a minute, a few more seconds for the Android to boot up, and we'll go through some other settings. If you have the radio or anything else playing, it also starts up at whatever you left it at as well. So as you can see, the satellite radio was already playing as soon as I started the car. Okay. So I'm gonna go. You have your music. You can select there. Everything pretty much is the same. I have it set to full screen because I didn't like the little side buttons that appear on the side there. It reminds me too much of the old screen that was in here with those button packs on the side. So I selected full screen to get rid of that look altogether. It gives you a much better display, in my opinion. However, you can change that if you would prefer the buttons on the side. I'll show you how to do that. Gotta get out of the screen here. Sometimes it takes a minute to get out of the screen to go back to the Android screen. Okay, there it is. And let's cover the settings real quick. On the sound settings, I have mine maxed all the way up to 40. Sound effect, I didn't really bother that. I just set it at halfway, and it does just fine. These other functions on here, you don't have to select any of those. Navigation, the navigation path on the Android unit itself, I have Google Maps selected on mine, but I hardly ever use it because I'm always using CarPlay. The backlighting, of course, you can go 100. I like mine at 75. That's where I keep mine at. The Bluetooth I don't use because I prefer the factory Bluetooth in the car. The touch adjust, don't bother with that because it'll take you to this screen and it'll just have you touch everywhere these dots are showing to get back out of it. Date and time, I have it set to automatic time zone. Select that, and I also have use network and GPS provided time. Language, of course, you want to select English. Back car, now this is important because some guys might get it and it's already set to back car video from display screen, which means if you have an aftermarket video camera, aftermarket reverse camera, you select that if you have an aftermarket camera installed, which if you want better image on the screen, I recommend you do get a good quality aftermarket camera and install it. Here where it says back car video from host, you select that and that shows the factory camera. But if you select this one and you don't have an aftermarket camera installed, you won't get a display on the screen when you go into reverse. So don't select this one here unless you have the aftermarket camera installed. Leave it there for host, back car video from host. Brake, I have it set for brake detection. That's what, just pull your emergency brake and it'll show on the screen. Theme, I have mine set to theme 1. You can play with these 3 different themes and see which display you like better. I like theme 1. The boot logo, I have the Range Rover letters selected here, but you may like the Land Rover emblem there selected on yours. That's for the theme. Okay, here's another important part: individuation. Assistive touch. If you turn on assistive touch, then you're going to get that little dot on the screen that just kind of shows you some extra settings or whatever. I don't like that extra dot on the screen, so I didn't select that. Door warning. If you select door warning, of course, you'll get your door warning, but it'll pop up in the middle of the screen, so I don't select that either. On split screen display here, this is important as well. I have mine on close, and that's what gives me the full screen display. Now if you want to select style 1, 2, or 3, that's up to you, but that'll give you the button packs back on the side. You can play with them and see which one you like best, or whichever one fits your car, but I prefer to have it closed so I get the full screen display. Car style, of course, you want to select, if you got a Range Rover Sport, of course select Sport, or Evoque if you have a Evoque. Driving position set, I have it set to left, of course, we're here in America. And that's that for that. Wi-Fi, you can set your Wi-Fi. I have mine connected to the home Wi-Fi, but you can hotspot it to the phone if you want to. You don't have to bother with restore defaults. Version. Now this is important here because there's about 2 hidden menus that you might have to access, and if you do have to, you can contact me and I'll give you those codes for the hidden menu, but hopefully you won't have to access those menus. I think that's about it for this setup. Hopefully I've covered everything. Let's go out of there. There's your apps on your Android menu and screen. This, if you are using your CarPlay dongle, the Autoplay app, which will probably be pre-installed in most units. If not, you'll probably have to install it, but I think it's pre-installed in most units. But there's your Autoplay app, where it comes up. Now, if you go to the settings on this, you can choose to do wireless CarPlay or CarPlay. That means it's plugged in. I didn't choose wireless because if you have it set to wireless and it's synced to your phone, it's always going to try to connect to your phone as soon as you start the car, and sometimes I don't necessarily want it to connect to the phone, so I choose to plug mine in when I'm using CarPlay anyway, because my phone most of the time needs charging, so it's better for me to plug mine in. You can figure that out on your own, however you want to do it. On the Android application, Android Auto does not work wirelessly. Only Apple CarPlay works wirelessly. So if you want Android Auto, you're gonna have to plug it in anyway. Connection mode, I have it set to automatic. Image mode, I have selected speed. Driving mode, I selected left. Night mode, automatic. Charging mode, strong. Microphone, I selected car because you want to use the microphone that's already built into the car. If you select box on that, it's going to try to use the microphone that's built into that little Apple CarPlay dongle. And if you have it hidden behind the dash, like I have mine, it's probably not going to work that well. So make sure you select car for the microphone. Backstage control, I have that set to on. The car icon, which is the Land Rover logo. You can set it to, I guess you can set it for whatever car you might have this unit installed in. There. But I have the Land Rover logo set in mine, of course. Key learning, you don't have to worry about key learning. That quick ball, once again, if you turn that on, you're going to get this little ball here, which is unnecessary. It just gives you, you know, extra little functions of it, but I don't like it. So we're going to turn that off. I like to keep it off and out of the way. English, of course, for the language. Also here it says insert box to launch. I have that turned off because you don't really need that on once you already got the box plugged in to the USB. Also here it says insert phone to launch, and you want to have that on because as soon as you plug in your phone, it'll launch the CarPlay application in the car. Save log, you don't need to have that on. Down here is your software version for the app, and then the software version for the box is right here as well. And you check your updates by selecting here, and as you can see, I already have the latest version on the software and the box. So you want to just check back, you know, every now and then, maybe once a month, to make sure you got the latest update. But mine is working fine now, so I don't really see a need for an update. But that's your settings there in the Autoplay app, and that's this app right here. It works pretty much the same. I've seen it some that has AutoKit. It's pretty much the same, but I actually like the Autoplay app. I like the display better. And now I'll dock my phone and you can see how CarPlay comes up. Of course, I'm getting a phone call right now, so I'm going to decline that. And as you notice, the phone call comes up on the screen. But here's CarPlay. This is what it looks like. It boots up pretty fast when you dock your phone or plug it in. And you have all the apps that Apple allows you to have while driving. So this is what I have on mine right now. For you Sirius XM guys, you can still listen to Sirius XM. I don't really care for it, but I will say, listening to Sirius XM through the app here, the audio quality is way better than just listening to Sirius XM through the original what's already built into the car. So if I'm going to listen to Sirius XM, I'd rather listen to it through the app. But for me, I like Pandora, so I have my station set up on Pandora. This is what I'm subscribed to, and this is what I use most of the time anyway. Of course, you got Apple Maps, which I use as well. And then you got Google Maps I like to use. Some people like Waze. I don't really care for Waze, but you know, it seems like it has a big following, so I figured I'd put it on here to display it for you guys. And I think that's it. You got your calendar there. You can see your date. Settings. You can turn on your do not disturb while driving. Appearance, I have mine selected to always dark. I think that looks better. If you set it to automatic, you get that bright screen like that. So I think the dark screen looks better. Suggestions on the dashboard, you can turn on your suggestions if you want that, and that'll give you the extra whatever you're gonna put, like my garage door opener. I can open and close my garage right there if you have that set up on yours. I'll turn that off. And of course you want to show your album art if you're listening to Pandora, Spotify, or whatever music app you're listening to. You get it shows the album art on there for you. So I hope I've covered everything this time in this video. But everything, you know, plays nice and clear on here, no static from the CarPlay dongle. When I first installed this thing, the CarPlay dongle gave me a little bit of trouble because there was a lot of static, but I learned that was just a software update. Now after about 3 updates, they finally got it right, and now it's silky smooth, and I haven't had any problem with CarPlay ever since. So even if they come out with a new software update, I'm gonna wait before I even update mine to make sure it's solid, because the one that I have on it now is working pretty flawless. So I just want to stick with that one until I know for sure that they got an even better update on it. I hope I've covered everything, guys. Hopefully I've answered all the questions that you guys have. And good luck setting up your unit, and good luck installing it. And that's it. Gotta go now.